We're on Daf Lamed Aleph Amid Beis. Omer Rabbi Avo, Kigon Avimi Bri, someone who fulfills the mitzvah of Kibbud Av Va'em on the highest level, like my son Avimi, Kiyem mitzvahs Kibbud Av Va'em. Let's see what he did. And Chamisha B'nei Samche Havalei Lavimi B'Chai Aviv. There were 5 sons that had Smicha Lo Ra already during the lifetime of their father Avimi. And nevertheless, Rabbi Avo, when Rabbi Avo came to the son of his house, Karyabova, he called out at the gate, and Avimi roit the ozil upasachle. And Avimi himself, the son of Rabbi Avo, who had 5 sons who had smicha, yet he wouldn't wait for his sons to answer the door, but rather when his father knocked on the door, he ran and he opened the door himself. He wouldn't allow any of his sons to replace him, so to speak, in opening the door. And he said, Ein, meaning I'm going to open the door, so that his father would know that he heard his kriya when his father called out. Adematoy Hasam, until he got to the Pesach Hadeles, he would say in. Yom Echad, one time, Omole Ashkin, his father said, Rabbi Avo asked for his son, give me some water to drink. Ade Aisile, until he brought the water to his father, Rabbi Avo, Nimnim, Rabbi Avo fell asleep. Gochin, Avimi bent over, Koya loya de itar, and he waited in that state until his father would wake up, so that immediately he could give him the water to drink. Is Taya Milsa, HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'schus, that great mitzvah Kibbud Av, was mezakim to some light from heaven, to shed a light on V'darash Avimi Mizmar Liyosef. That Avimi understood, had a darshan, a Mizmar until Ma'intes, that opens with the words of Mizmar Liyosef. And this was a difficult Mizmar to understand. Why did it say Mizmar Liyosef? And then it says, Elokim bo goyim nachlasecha. It should have said Kino Liyosef. It was really a lamentation on these terrible things that happened to Klal Yisrael. But the darshan that Shira also Shakash Baruch Hu kilas chamos beitzav avonim shebeis hamikdash. That Hakadosh Baruch Hu ki'ilu decided to take out his wrath and destroy the Mikdash rather than destroy Klal Yisrael. Amalei Rav Yaakov bar Avua Labai Kigona no. I love my father and my mother. The Adasina mi beirav. When I come back from the Beis Medrash, Abba Madli le Kasa. My father brings me a cup of some drink. Ve'ima mazgali, and with this kos, my mother pours some drink into the kos. And now he asks his question: Hechi I avid. What should I do? Should I accept that shimush, that service from my father and my mother? Amalei Abai says, you know what? You can, according to the strict letter of the law, accept service from your parents. They are doing it willingly. However, in your case, accept it from your mother, but not from your father. Since he's a Talmud Chacham, if you'll accept from him the sheirus, we're afraid that sometimes he's going to have a chalishas hadas. Rabbi Tarfon Havilei Hahi Ima. Rabbi Tarfon had an elderly mother. To call Emes Davi boys Lemesa Gufuri, whenever she wanted to get up on the bed, Gochin V'Solikla, he would bend over his body so that she could climb on him like a ladder. And whenever she'd come down from the bed, Nochasas Ilove, he would again bend himself so his mother could come down on his back, through his back. Also become Ishtabach Be'Midrash. And now he would sort of like boast and take pride in the fact that he was Mekayim the mitzvah Kibbud Avim on the highest level. Amri lay, so the Chacham said to Rabbi Tarfon, Adayin lo igata lechatzi kibud. You haven't even reached half of the kibud. Klum zarka arniki lefanecha layom v'lo echlimato. Did she ever come along and throw your wallet into the sea, and there's money inside of it that's lost, and yet you did not embarrass her? Now, this whole story about Dayan lo igata lechatzi kibud, Tosfos points out in the name of Yerushalmi, the story was that Rabbi Tarfon once fell ill. His mother came to Beis Medrash asking the Talmidim to pray on behalf of her son, Rabbi Tarfon, who was the Gadol Hador. And after she boasted about his kibbud and described his kibbud, they said in response that Adain lo igia lechatzi kibbud. Rav Yossi ki Avishama kol carried the ime when he heard the pitter patter of his mother coming. Amar, he declared, Eiku mekami shchinta diosya. I will stand in front of the shchina that's coming. It's interesting that shchina is in Lashon Nekeva, and it's a symbol of the mother. How fortunate is someone who never saw his parents. And why did Rabbi Yochanan make this comment? Rabbi Yochanan ki abarto imo, mace of when his mother became pregnant, his father died during pregnancy, and he never saw his father. And after birth, or maybe even at birth, his mother perished. The same thing happened to Abai. So someone is fortunate that he won't be punished for being nichshal and non-fulfillment of kibbud avim. How fortunate is someone who doesn't have parents? Any, is this so that Abai never saw his parents? For Omer Abai, Omer li'yem. Many times Abai says, I heard it from my mother. Where it says, Ahi me Rabbanisa Havoy. Abai was raised by an omenes. She raised him, and he would quote her and call her his mother. Rav Asi Havle Ahi Mazkeni had an elderly mother. Amalei be'ina tachshit. Please bring me beautiful jewelry. Avadle. And he did as she had requested. Be'ina Gavra. I would like to get married. Apparently she was an almana. And Rav Asi responded, let me look into it. Let me see if I can find someone for you. But she qualifies and she says, Be'ina Gavra D'Shapir Kavasa. I want someone who is as beautiful, as handsome as you are. And at this point, Rav Asi realized that his mother lost it. It was Nitzva Daito, and he was afraid that he won't be able to be mechabed her as he should. Shavka v'yazel Eretz Yisrael. There are different reasons that people are motivated to make Aliyah to Eretz Yisrael. In his case, it was because his mother had lost it. Shomadika Ozla, and he heard that she had heard that he was going to Eretz Yisrael in a Basra, and she followed him to Eretz Yisrael. Also, coming to Rabbi Yochanan, Rav Asi came to ask his Rabbi Yochanan, now that my mother is coming after me to Eretz Yisrael, so should I go out and greet her? I'm already in Eretz Yisrael. Omalei ma'ulates me Eretz l'chutz la'aretz. Rav Asi asked his Rabbi Yochanan, am I permitted to go to chutz la'aretz? Omalei also, you're not allowed to go to. But wait a minute. Rav Asi said l'kras imamau. I want to go for the mitzvah of kibbud ein. Omalei any yadeh. Rabbi Yochanan says, I don't know. On the one hand, you're not allowed to leave Eretz Yisrael. On the other hand, you have a great mitzvah of kibbud ein. Atrach purta. Rav Asi waited a little bit, and he thought that Rabbi Yochanan would finally come to a decision. Hadar asa. After he sort of waited a little bit, he came back in front of Rabbi Yochanan to ask him a second time. Amalei, this time, Rabbi Yochanan said, Asi, nisratzis lotzes, you're pushing so hard that you want to get a heter to leave Eretz Yisrael for kibbud ein. Hamakom yachzircha l'shalom. Go ahead, and God will bring you back in peace. Also, coming to Rabbi Lazar, Rav Asi comes in front of Rabbi Lazar, Omar Le, and he asks Rabbi Lazar, is chas v'shalom dilma mirtach rasach? Is it possible that Rabbi Yochanan was angry at me because I pushed him and I came back to Nujim, so to speak, to be matir me to go to Chutz La'aretz, Amalei, what did he say to you? My Amalach. Amalei, Rav Asi told him that Rabbi Yochanan had said to him, Amokim Yachzir Chol Shalom. Amalei, so Rabbi Elazar said to Rav Asi, and Isa de Rasach, if he really was angry at you, Lavi Mavarchach, he wouldn't have bestowed a blessing on you. Adahachi vehachi. In the meantime, as Rav Asi was leaving from Eretz Yisrael to Chutz La'aretz in order to honor his mother, and he didn't get to be Makabel Panel, Shoma la Rona de Kosa. He heard the bitter news that she had passed away, and her Aron was coming to Eretz Yisrael. And Rav Asi was very upset. Omar, he declared, Iyode lo nafki. Had I known before I left Eretz Yisrael that she had already passed away, I would not have left Eretz Yisrael. There's kibud avayim both during the lifetime of your father and after his death. If he comes to people and he knows that the people would give honor to his father and they'll listen to what he says, if he'll ask for something for l'tzorach aviv lo, nomar shalchuni b'shvil atzmi. Don't say to them, do it for me, maruni b'shvil atzmi, but rather, or petruni b'tzatz, but rather el kulu b'shvil av. Everything you do, do it for my father. And that is a kibud av. B'moso keitzad haya omer dvar shvua mipiv lo yoma kach omer abba el kach omer abba mori hareini kaparas mishkova. And Allah says that that's what you should say for the first 12 months, as the Gemara clarifies immediately. Mahani mili, when do you say hareini kaparas mishkova toch shnei masar chodesh for the first 12 months of after his patira? Because up until the end of the 12 months, he's punished, and after that, he has already received his punishment. And even Rishonim are not judged in Gehenna more than 12 months. And therefore, there's no room to say and to declare Hareini Kaparas Mishkava, that he's being makabel on himself the evil that is roy for his father, because even his father is not going to receive any more punishment. The Chacham is darshaning through a Meturgamon, and the Chacham whispers into the ears of the Meturgamon the drasha, and the Meturgamon belts it out in a kol ram for the rabbin. So when the Chacham is lochesh lemeturgamon, and he's mentioning in the drasha his father's Rebbe, is he should change their name. He should not say explicitly or recite their first name, but rather he should say Kachamar Abba Mori, Kachamar Rebbe Mori. Turgamon. But however, when the Turgamon is now going to repeat his words and project them out loud, it shouldn't confuse the people by just saying, oh, Kachamar Rabbi Mori, Kachamar Avi Mori, should say their name. So the Gemara now wants to clarify this halacha that the Meturgamon should not change the name of his father. If it means that the Meturgamon, when he's saying over something in the name of his father, he shouldn't mention his father by name. Is Atu Turgamon Lav Bar Chiyuvu? Is a Meturgamon not a Bar Chiyuv in Mitzvah's Kibbur Av? How can you tell me that he should be mentioning his father's name or his Rebbe's name? Ela Marava Shem Aviv Shel Chacham Shem Rabba Shel Chacham. The Turgamon is not mentioning his own father, but rather the father of the Rav who's darshan. And Kiha, like we saw in the drasha of Marbar of Ashi, Ki Avidorish Pirka, when he was dorish, the drasha that was said publicly to teach the people the dinim and the halachas, and he would mention Aviv, he would mention his father, and that is Rav Ashi. Is Iu Amar Abba Mori, Mora Amar Hachi Amar Avash. Right? He would say, this is what I heard from my father. And the Amora, the Metargamon, would say, this was Ravashi. He would call by name. Ton Rabbanon, Ezu, Mora, Bezu, Kibud, Mora, Shalo, Ome, Bimkom, Lo Yoshe, Bimkom, Lo Sosis, Tvav, Lo Machriya. So Mora is really an essay, a lava bamachal essay, and it's made up of Isurim, not to stand in the place where his father stands, and that's a makom yuchad lamod sham, and not to sit in his father's designated chair, and not to contradict his father, nor to say, well, if there's a debate, I think my father's right. Kibud, and what is Kibud? Machilu mashkim al b'shumachase machnesu motzi. He should feed his father, dress his father, cover his father, and bring him in and bring him out. Iboilahu, the Bnei Yeshiva had a suffix, and here we turn to Lamed Beis. With regard to Kibbud Av, and we said he has to feed his father, is Shalmihem, where's the money coming from? Does the Ben have to take it out of his own bank account, or can he bill it to his parents? And on this we have the following record. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Mishal Ben. Rabbi Nosson Bar Oshia Omer, Mishal Av. Okay then, and this is where we'll stop for today. On the top of Lamed Beis.